Welcome back to Scully Park here at West for the big one, the Northern Inland Premier League first grade final between Tamworth FC and the Demon Knights. Here to call all the action with me is Chris Fenton. G'day, Chris.
G'day, how you going, Jack?
I'm very well, thanks. We've all been excited for this one. Of course, Tamworth FC have been undefeated all season and only just one draw in that. The rest have been victories. They're the team to beat. They've been the team to beat all year, but they're coming up against a very good Demon Knights team.
Mate, this is the one everyone's come to watch. It's the one that will decide and the one that people will remember. FC have been amazing this year, as you said, going through undefeated with just one draw against North Companions a few weeks back. But DK, at the same token, also on a roll, having knocked out OVA 2 weeks ago and then last week East Armidale. Early chance we see there for DK. Maybe some early nerves for DK there.
Yeah, FC wasting no time and showing that they're a team that finds the back of the net. They've served up a fair few floggings over the season. The last time they versed the Demon Knights, I'm pretty sure they scored a fair few goals in that fixture as well.
Yeah, I think they finished with 5 or 6 goals in it. I'm not sure on the exact scoreline, but they're either... You find with FC, if they score early and dominate you, it's easy for the other side to get their head down, especially when you know going into the game that they're currently undefeated. So,
despite a fantastic year for FC, they probably won't get caught being a little bit complacent for this game. A couple of the local articles in some of the papers, maybe just getting them up and fired for this game, talking a bit of smack about them in the build-up, which, of course, we see from time to time in the media. But talking to Coach Greg Bartlett, his team has used that as a further inspiration to finish off this season with a premiership.
Yeah, in all honesty, I think the articles and things in the paper, a lot of it is a bit of rubbish. However, at the end of the day, I think FC will use it to inspire them. What better way to get your side up for a grand final? So I think it might backfire on the sides that were actually criticising the side. So at the end of the day, FC is a quality side. They've gone through undefeated this year, so I think this should be a good game with DK definitely on the rise. But the media aspect of it, I think, will only help Tamworth FC.
DK definitely come here as the underdogs, and they've been great, and they're fantastic for the club to get their reserve team into the final, which was played out just before this game. Unfortunately, they went down to the North Companions 2-0 for the North Companions to go back-to-back premierships in the reserve grade. A fantastic effort by the club and a fantastic game we witnessed, and hopefully this one can lead up to and build on what we just saw in the past 90 minutes.
Yeah, I think it will. The last game was pretty good. I think this one will be a lot more structured and probably a lot faster pace. There's definitely some players to watch out for on both sides. Probably the key man for DK is probably Naren Singh. I dare say he'll be playing somewhere in the centre midfield or maybe a 10 role in behind the strikers. But he's definitely a danger man for them. And probably for FC, you probably look at Kurt Burrow. He's number 13 for FC, who sits up front. Top marksman is actually second on the Golden Boot standings this year. I think he's got 19 goals to date. Troy Harefield, obviously a former A-League star, also in the mix at the back, which should consolidate the back. He's playing next to Ross Price, who's their captain. The Pommy import, who's very solid also.
And of course, this is the big one in the day, but it's been a great 2 days already for the Northern Inland Football Final Series. We had a great day on Thursday, followed up brilliantly yesterday, and we've still got some games to follow today before our females take to the field tomorrow. So Scully Park has been a fantastic venue for what has been already a fantastic final series put on by the Northern Inland Football.
And it's great to be here on Bar TV as well. West Entertainment Group have obviously come on board and providing this amazing venue. Trent Madams, the curator, has done an amazing job here. I couldn't think of a better pitch that I've seen to date for a long time now. So especially when we're in the middle of a drought season, the field looks absolutely amazing. So.
No, I couldn't have said that any better myself, and it's very true. And it's also been a fantastic experience for some of our younger rising stars to play on such a great pitch. We saw some pretty entertaining games in our under 14s and 13s earlier today. the crowd has come in nicely for this game, and I'm sure it will come across quite loudly if a goal is scored by either team here. Not too many empty seats in the grandstand in front of us.
Yeah, Northern Inland Football have done an amazing job with the scheduling here of the games, all to culminate basically around this being the centrepiece. There's still 2 more matches after this game as well, so we're in for a good day, a long day, and hopefully a very entertaining game.
Yeah, hopefully, and perfect weather for it. As FCC start to, well, as I said that, they've just turned over, but FC have definitely started quite fast. A good counter-attack here by the Demon Knights, and a lovely cross ball, 2 legs.
Narendra Singh set that up nicely, put the ball into the box, and here's a first early chance for DK. FC managed to scramble it clear, though.
Some very nervous scenes there for Tamworth FC. A bit of a pinball effect in the box there, of course. FC's keeper, Mick Gay, was called off the line there and was out of position, so they're lucky that that ball didn't fall to the feet of some of the DK Knight strikers there.
Yeah, an early warning shot fired by DK after most of the possession was by Tamworth FC up the top of the pitch, but quick counter-attack from Narendra Singh and perfect ball into the box, and they're lucky to escape there, Tamworth FC.
And it might just build a bit of confidence for the Demon Knights. Of course, they're up against it here, but we all know that anything happens, it can happen in a game of football, and this Demon Knights team is well and truly got what it takes to prove the upset.
You could almost say the last 2 games weren't necessarily upsets, but they were probably very even fixtures. Last week, probably against East Armidale, they probably were the underdogs, and they come out 4-0 victors in that contest. So they're definitely riding a high, especially having both grades into the final. The reserve grade loss probably might have been a little bit dampener on it, but at the end of the day, DK has never won a first grade fixture, grand final, so I guess they'd be hoping this is their day to change that and make a bit of history for the club.
Another opportunity for Tamworth FC, a nice break down the right-hand side. A bit of a hit and hope for that cross. There weren't too many people in the middle. It was hard to know if that was a cross or a bit of a long shot there.
Yeah, Josh Bartlett, I think, went to put that into the mix. Probably tried to cross the ball, but put a bit too much heat on it and a little bit misdirected as well. Here goes Hayden Davidson trying to get on the end of that ball. It's actually Hayden's 23rd birthday today. I'm pretty sure he was trying to get on the end of that and give himself an early birthday present.
You really have done your study for this today, Chris.
I just seen it on Facebook this morning, mate.
Facebook providing the goods as it's a DK throw, and I'm sure they'll be hoping to get this out of their own half and to string together a good play of football, because that's definitely what Tamworth FC have done in the early encounters of this first half. FC are pressing up very high and hard on the DK defenders, hoping to put a bit of pressure on them, but that was some composed play by the DK keeper there, Luke Birmingham.
Yeah, I think FC have definitely started the better. DK probably had the better opportunity, but they seem to be stringing their balls together quite nicely, finding feet, and they look very composed on the ball and seem to be picking out the right passes. So is that a corner for Tamworth FC?
It is a bit of a lucky deflection, but they'll take a corner and an early opportunity for FC and to see what they can produce from a set piece.
I'll need to mark Harefield tight here. I've seen him score a few goals on his head this year, and he's very dangerous in the air.
Ryan Davidson will whip in this ball. It's a good ball found to the head. Not too much weight behind it, though, and a pretty straightforward save to Luke Birmingham in the end.
Yeah, Kurt Burrow's another one strong in there, just by his pure size. He's a very tall man and gets on the end of a lot of things as well. But like I said, Harefield, another danger man in the air, especially off set pieces.
Lovely piece of refereeing there to allow this play to play on. Not much comes of it though. FC have earned themselves a throw-in. Quickly thrown to the feet of Kurt Burrow, who tries to get his boy past a couple of defenders. A little bit of frustration there after losing the ball, and gives away a free kick, which will allow the Demon Knights to get the ball out of their own half here.
Yeah, DK will be hoping not to concede early. When you look at it, Tamworth FC have only conceded a few goals this year, so 14 goals in total they've conceded. So if they go down early, it'll be a long way back.
14 goals, so that's pretty much one every 2 games, which is an incredible effort. And as we said, they've got some really experienced backs, and I think that is probably centrepiece by Troy Harefield.
Yeah, Troy Harefield and Ross Price in combination work really well together. They're very solid, very good communicators, both of them. As I said, Ross Price is their captain and just wins that ball in the air with ease. So Naren Singh, the player that contested that too, is probably DK's dangerman, like I said. However, coming up against those two, he's going to have a very, very full-on day, and he's going to have to work very hard to create chances.
For the early parts, this is probably the football you're expecting. Tamworth FC controlling well, but the DK ready to pounce on any type of counter-attack.
Yeah, I think Tamworth FC are just trying to put an early goal in, just to put doubts into DK, and they've definitely started hard and fast. As we say that, here comes a counter-attack from DK. See what they can make out of this.
Lovely 1-2. Good piece of defending to shut that off by Ross Price.
Yeah, he come across nicely there. They work well together, the defence, and even in attack. They've got the boys streaming forward from both sides of defence, which will create an overlap later in the game, I'm sure.
Cheaply lost possession there, which gives Tamworth FC another opportunity. They're looking very composed on the ball here, Tamworth FC. I think they seem like they're quite used to controlling the play. They haven't been put off by the big occasion so far. And we'll see here, brilliant play. A fantastic cross there by Hayden Davidson.
Kurt Burrow done well to get on the end of that. Got it directed on target, and Luke Birmingham, who was probably last week's best for DK, in my opinion. He probably kept them in the game in the second half, even though they're up 3-0. He's come at them with everything they had.
We might be tested again here as Tamworth FC make another break. A good turn, a good shot, and a lovely goal by Kurt Burrow. A fantastic start for Tamworth FC. Brilliant bending goal.
He finished that nicely. He turned to his right, used his right foot, which is his weaker foot, and side netted that home into the side netting, and Luke Birmingham is not happy.
Well, there wasn't much Birmingham could do. Just watch that continue to bend and bend and bend. It looked like he probably started that out next to that west side. It just curled in nicely there. Fantastic start, and now Demon Knights are going to have to play from behind.
Yeah, there was no stopping that. Clinical finish. That's what FC have done most of the year.
And they're straight back at it again here with Matt Gardner coming down. He's lost possession. Clearing kick. Hayden Davison again whips one in. A little bit lucky there by Luke Birmingham. He was probably caught out of position. If Tamworth FC had somebody on the end of that cross, they would have almost found themselves with an open goal. But the speed of the transition from Tamworth FC from defence to attack is definitely keeping the Demon Knights baffled at the moment, you'd say.
Yeah, it's going to be a long way back for them already. They'd be having doubts in their own head at the moment. They've conceded an early goal. As I said, Tamworth FC haven't conceded many all year, and they've got a very strong defensive pairing. They're strong back four. marshalled by Ross Price and Troy Harefield. Long way back for DKFC.
Greg Bartlett would be very happy with what he's seen early on. They have been composed and moved the ball nicely when needed, but when there has been space and time, they have wasted no time getting forward and put in a couple of good attacks already. And of course, we saw a fantastic goal there, but they really come to play again today, Tamworth FC.
As we said, they've been composed, they've been clinical. They've all been good. I can't really fault anyone. I can't see any nerves from Tamworth FC at the start, which is amazing considering some of the players are still so young. Here they go again. Looks as though DK is starting to sit deeper and deeper and deeper as well, which is probably an early, not a good sign early in the game. They probably don't want to concede again. I can see that, but at the end of the day, if you allow FC to come at you, they'll score like they already have. So,
fantastic run by Hayden Davidson. He's been fantastic down that left edge for FC. He's been a handful. As this player's kept alive, it's whipped in again. A little bit too much on that one though, and it will be led to run for a goal kick. They seem just a little bit shell-shocked here, the Demon Knights. Since conceding that goal, they haven't put together many passes. They've been more than happy just to boot the ball up the other end, really.
Yeah, I think DK needed to start hard and fast, and that's what they've done in their previous two matches. However, today, not so. Against the composed FC, they're up against it early.
FC a little bit unlucky there. Jackson Hasler giving away. Oh, he's been sent off. That's a huge moment in this game. He's not too happy and he's causing a stir. And he's carrying on a fair bit as well. He's got quite a reception from the crowd as he goes off. Probably not what you want to see here. No need for it. They were 1-0 up. It was probably a touch and go foul, but the reaction there, probably deserving of a red, and he's put his teammates under a world of pressure here in such a big game.
He's obviously said something to the referee. We're out of earshot, obviously, but this referee's known for giving out red cards for dissent. So at the end of the day, they can only blame themselves. So something was said, and he could have potentially cost them the game. So Tamworth FC will still be hard to break down, but down a man with 60 plus minutes to go, it's going to be a completely different ball game now.
And Demon Knights have wasted no time coming on the attack here. I think this could be a crucial period for the Demon Knights. If they just compose themselves now, get the ball to feet and move Tamworth FC around, they can really start to build some confidence and also doubt in Tamworth FC and just remind them that they will be playing with a man down for the rest of the game.
He's certainly got the crowd into it now, into the game. I also wonder whether it's got something to do with some of the things that were written earlier in the media and in the paper about certain tactics from Tamworth FC this year. So whether that had something to do with the red card or whether it was purely for dissent, I'm not sure, but it's definitely changed this game and made it a lot more extremely interesting. And DK looked to launch another counter-attack here. They'll look to find Naran Singh, find his feet and play off him.
Jackson, is it Hustler who has been carded?
Yeah, Jackson Houser's sent off.
Where's he been playing? Is he one of their centre mids, was he?
He's been playing in the centre midfield as a 10 in behind Kurt Burrow. And he's definitely a key man for them. Normally he travels from Inverell to play for Tamworth FC and has scored numerous goals for them this year and definitely is one of their key men. So for him to be sent off early, it'll be interesting to see how Tamworth FC settle in and handle that send-off.
Some really scrappy play by the DK, a foul throw-in, which you just don't expect at this level, has given FC an opportunity here. Can you see a bit of a reshuffle off the back of that? What do you think Bartlett will just leave it a couple of minutes and see how they fare?
They'll end up having to play 2 up front, I think, instead of the 3. They're playing 4-3-3 formation. Now they'll probably have to go to 4-4-1, I'd imagine. Probably play Kurt up top by himself, or 4-4-2. Well, I can't play 4-4-2, sorry, 4-4-1. So another cards issue just then.
Josh Bartlett's on the receiving end of that one.
Yeah. They need to calm down here, Tamworth FC, or they'll end up with another person off the park. No one wants to see this in a grand final. They're just making life harder for themselves now. So hopefully they keep their heads and keep everyone on the park.
Completely baffles me as well. There's been no need for it. They've been the better team. They've got the early goal, which they were after. They've looked good, and they've looked to have been all over DK in every way. So you're right. They just need to calm down and start thinking football. I wonder if the crowd's playing in a bit of an effect on that, though, because the crowd has been very vocal towards, probably in DK's corner.
Yeah, you're probably right. Like I said, they travelled down here with a fair few people. At the end of the day, no one wants to remember this game for the referee either. They just want a good, hard game, good, hard, fair game, and he's here to control that. So as long as everyone keeps their heads, I'd like to think that no more cards, or no more red cards at least, get issued.
It's a fantastic day for it, Chris, but it'll be pretty hot out in the middle. How hard do you think it will be for Tamworth FC to play a man down, but also in this heat? It could be really difficult for them in the back end of the game.
Yeah, Jack, you're right. It will take its toll. These guys are all fit at the end of the day. It's the end of the season. They've all done plenty of training and plenty of games all year. However, going down to 10 men does take a toll, and that can take its toll after 20 minutes. But when you're 70 minutes or 20 minutes in and you're down to 10 men, there definitely will come a time where substitutions or fitness will come into play.
One thing that card hasn't stopped is FC's go forward. They've still probably dominated possession since going a man down and have had some good field position off the back of that. If you're the Demon Knights here, do you just focus on maybe not conceding for the next 10 minutes, or are you trying to really counter-punch that off the back of that card?
Yeah, I think you go off the back of it, like you just said. I think you put everything into the next 10 and try and get back on level terms and put a bit of doubt into FC. They haven't been beaten all year. And now they're down to 10 men. To level it back up would definitely put some doubt in their minds.
Free kick here, given in some good position for Tamworth FC. But yeah, look, especially a team that has been undefeated all year, if they were to concede, we've said that they're not used to conceding even this season. So if they were to draw equal, you could see the doubt coming into their minds. So whoever scores next in this game, I think, could be the crucial goal.
Yeah, I agree. If FC score next, then you can definitely see the DK heads will be down, especially conceding when they've only got 10 men playing against them. So I think this next goal is vital and will go a long way to saying who's going to win this game.
Too much on that free kick. Gives the game a chance to just calm down a little bit. As we said, there's been a couple of tempers following in the Heat's footsteps.
Yeah, I think Tamworth FC need to just calm down here. They need to sit back and realise that they're 1-0 up. They're down to 10 men. They need to take a breather and just get the ball to feet. Pretty much do what they've done that opening 10 minutes. Rather than getting involved and talking to the referee or questioning decisions, I think they just need to play some football and settle down and knock the ball around. That'll give them their confidence back. And
who's the best person to lead from the front in doing that? Who will they be looking for to calm them down and to remind them of exactly that?
I think Troy Harefield and Ross Price at the back will lead by example. I think Ross will lead as a captain. Both of them talk very well. Troy will get up. He'll push up into the midfield here and probably go up for this header and try and get his head and give him a 2-goal lead. But I think the talk will come from those two. Kurt Burrow up front will try to lead by example. He'll probably try and get his foot on it and settle the boys down and hold possession and frustrate DK. But we'll see what happens after this corner. easy claim by Birmingham.
Just too close to the goal line. He didn't really even have to come off his line to take that one. See what Demon Knights can do off the back of this. Lovely little play here. If the ball can be kept in, it's not going to be, but they are going to get a free kick off the back of it.
Yeah, that foul looked pretty cynical. I'm surprised there's no card issued there, actually.
Ross Price, who we have mentioned is so important in the back line for Tamworth FC, is still down. He's not looking in a great shape here.
No, he put his body on the line. Like I said, I don't think he was ever actually going to get the ball then. The referee probably... I'm shocked he actually kept his card in the pocket for that foul.
Yeah, especially the way the game's gone so far.
Yeah, exactly.
He's back to his feet. He has a pretty serious limp on him at the moment. Oh, looks like he's going to try and walk it off, though. Oh, he is heading towards the sideline.
Yeah, he's got to come off. He'll go straight back on, though, as soon as they allow him back on.
And that's exactly what we've just seen.
Half a chance here for DK.
Oh,
Just hits the side netting.
did well to get a shot across there. The angle was probably a too hard of one to overcome, but he had some good power behind that. If he got that on target, it would have been a hard one to stop for Gay. There hasn't been a huge amount of this game played in the midfield. It has been very back and forth and box to box. As we see, the FC now have a free kick in a good position to maybe put forth some of their training park set pieces. Probably not what Ross Price was after there. The North Companions are playing out of their own end. A great ball here. Just not going to have the pace to get around their left back. Free kick given away. Has just felt like it started to calm down a bit here. Both teams have started to get into a groove.
Yeah, a couple of flashpoints early. Hopefully they settle down and both teams just start playing some decent football, and we'll see if DK can get themselves back into this contest. Davidson worked that well into the corner there. They'll have a long throw here by the looks. They'll probably look for Burrow's head or flick on and try and get a scramble in the box.
Davidson has been very good in the opening exchanges, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been very solid. I don't know whether that's got anything to do with it being his birthday, but he's looked pretty good. Oh,
Unlucky there, but it has been wave play on, and rightly so. And
another cynical foul by Harefield there. I think he'll probably pull that back and surely give a card for that. Maybe not.
they are definitely playing a hard game at the back. They're more than happy to put their body on the line and to tell the Demon Knight strikers that they are here.
Yeah, they are, but it's probably pushing a fine line. You're already down to 10 men and going in for challenges like that. It's a very risky thing to do. If you get it wrong time, like I thought that one was, you could be down to 9 men. So I guess that's a risk FC are taking at the moment. I think it's a big one, but if it pays off, then they look pretty good.
Is this how they know how to play football, though? It has been told that they are a very physical team.
Yeah, they are very physical. No doubt about that. They're very physical, strong side. A lot of other sides are strong and physical too, or a lot of other sides have players that are strong and physical. But there's a fine line between being physical and probably overzealous and exuberant into challenges and a few things off the ball. And some of those things have crept into the media, but I believe that's what the referees are there to deal with, and if the referees see it, they deal with it accordingly. So I don't think the media is the right forum to do it. If there's any issues, then it should be reported by the match officials or an official complaint lodged. Tamworth FC are certainly more physical than some of the other sides, but within the rules.
We've spoken a fair bit about that red card, and obviously it came so early on in the match. It makes Bartlett's substitution so crucial, though, when he only has 10 men.
Yeah, he's got massive decisions to make here now, whether he sacrifices a striker and brings on maybe a defensive midfielder. He's definitely got to think about how he's going to change his structure. He would have already changed his structure. I think he's dropped Davidson slightly back into a 10 role. He'll play in the midfield. And I think they've just got to try and control that midfield and get it to Burrow's feet. They've got the right striker up front, a big solid guy that can take possession in Burrow. So if they can get it to his feet and slow the game down, I think it'll be to their advantage.
Speaking of slowing the game down, Matt Gardner's in no rush to take this throw at the moment.
No, Matt Gardner's another experienced customer, like a lot of the FC guys are. They'll slow the game down. They'll play smart on the back of Harefield and Price, and even Mick Gay at the back. He's also very experienced. Has only just recently come back to the game. All three of those guys will lead from the back, and they'll play smart, efficient soccer.
Lovely play here, and the last pass is probably a little bit off for the companions and a foul to follow. I'd say that's out of frustration. Tamworth FC are calling for a card after the way they've been dealt early on, but I don't think it warranted one.
I just thought Harefield tripped over old age. That's all I thought it was.
Jeff Donnan for the Demon Knights has looked like the key. He's been very busy in these opening exchanges and has almost put away a couple of his flyers into some great space.
Yeah, he played for North Companions, I think it was last year or the year before, and played in their midfield and was probably a strong component in there. He's definitely got plenty of touches on the ball. They've just got to be more effective in the middle, I think. Like here he is here. He's away. He's just got to pick the right pass, and he shoots from long distance, which was probably the wrong option, and I think he'd probably be pretty angry with himself for choosing that option.
Yeah, he definitely had options either side of him, a couple of teammates offering runs. Sometimes when your team hasn't had many shots and you see the goal right in front of you like that, it's hard not to take the shot though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Your eyes light up sometimes. I guess I've been guilty of it in the past as well, maybe from further distances out than that as well. But when you're in a grand final and you get limited opportunities, especially against a team like FC with strong defensive capabilities, then I think you've got to value that possession when you get it in those spots, and you've got to make the most of it. So
that's another foul, and that was from Ryan Davidson, who has been good early on.
Another very strong challenge.
We heard it from up here.
Yeah, and the DK players stayed down on the ground, so this game could get very interesting.
Whilst we do have a stoppage, it's just another opportunity to thank Bar TV for making it possible for all those who aren't at the ground today to still watch the grand final day, and Northern Inland Premier League for putting on such a fantastic day. Of course, West have supplied a fantastic venue that is in great shape, so the weather's perfect. It's a great day for football, and we've been thoroughly entertained for the first 30 minutes of this game. The Demon Knights will get play back on the way now. Lovely ball put through. An unfortunate end to what looked like could have been a promising attack there, but one thing we have started to see more of is the fact that Demon Knights are understanding that they've got an advantage with an extra player and are starting just to look for the space and to get the ball to feet and try and run the Tamworth FC guys around a bit more.
Yeah, the longer this game goes on, the more Demon Knights will go into it. They'll back themselves a bit more. As long as they can keep it just the one goal down, they'll get plenty of encouragement out of that. So I think the longer it goes on, the staying 1-0, the better chance DK will come into the game and grow.
He's done very well to get the ball through that hole, and they've kept it alive, earned themselves a throw in. They're just starting to look a little bit more composed here, and I'm sure they'll be wanting to make the most of this passage of play. A lazy touch there, but another foul, and again it's come from Hayden Davidson. Looks like a bit of frustration just probably crept into Davidson's game here. He probably had an opportunity to control that and get the ball out of there.
Yeah, a couple of fouls in quick succession from Davidson. You want to keep his cool and probably stay on his feet. As soon as you start sliding in for those challenges, they probably look a little bit worse than what they are. No one on there or even competing that for DK. That'll be disappointing.
Ball's fallen nicely here for DK. Lovely ball. If they can get on the end of it, he has. He's done well to pull it back in. Just couldn't get it close enough to the middle of the box there, and Mick Gay cleans up.
Yeah, Jeff Donnan done very well to get to that. He's actually stayed down after that. I think he might have got a little bit of a late challenge after he got it back. The referee's seen nothing in it.
Tamworth FC, lovely play there by Kurt Barrow to open up his right foot. He's flashed a shot in the end, but beats a player well. Has given himself the space, pulled the trigger, and you don't want to see that for the Demon Knights, who have done so well to start to turn this game in terms of momentum.
Yeah, as I said, he's predominantly a left footer, so that's his second right foot strike. The first one he curled into the bottom corner, and that one, whilst wasn't that close, it was still on his non-preferred foot, so he's obviously confident if he's turning that way.
Fair enough to be confident after the scream he scored. For those who did miss it, a fantastic turning shot, curled it beautifully to beat Birmingham.
He's just had another dig from a long way out on his more favoured left foot.
Tamworth FC just aren't going away here. It's some fantastic football they're playing. Every time it looks like the Demon Knights are just starting to get on top of this game, they come back and remind them of how quickly they can turn some defence into a really good attacking option.
Yeah, Tamworth FC doing well to maintain possession when they're actually down a player.
Josh Bartlett in space here, and he's also had a shot. Sorry to cut you off there.
You're right, and in saying that too, the more they push, the more energy they use. So whether that comes back to bite them if they can't get that second goal, maybe in the second half they might run out of legs. And like you said before, the substitutions will be crucial for Tamworth FC. I see they've got Jeffro on the bench, the 49-year-old veteran. I don't know how many minutes you'll get out of him, but definitely the substitutions will be crucial.
Lovely piece of defence there by the Demon Knights. Kept the ball alive here and have actually given themselves some space down the right edge.
Singh won't be happy with himself there. Disappointing cross. Probably should have put that behind Harefield.
Yeah, he just saw a play in a little bit of space and his eyes lit up. Probably didn't give himself enough time to give a good ball through though.
No, he's strongest with the ball at his feet. He's great at beating players one-on-one or even even 2 players. I've seen him skin or nutmeg 2 players in succession this year. He's definitely got some good close foot skill, and he's got fast feet. So if he gets it in the box and gets it to his feet, then Tamworth FC it should be wary of their challenges.
FC are definitely playing some conservative football here now. We saw in that attack they only had 3 players up and they still had 6 back, so they're not pushing too many players up, which is a fair enough thing when you're 1-0 up and a player down.
Yeah, I don't think it's just because they're down. I think they probably would have sat back a little bit further as Burrow misdirects that header. Probably should have done better with it. In saying that, he done well just to get on the end of it, I think.
Brilliant cross by Bartlett to find him. You're right, it was a fantastic effort just to get ahead to it. Another worrying sign for the Demon Knights. That's 2 really good crosses that have been put in by FC, and they just haven't been able to direct their shots a little bit better.
Yeah. After all that, that's gone out for a corner. Looked a little bit clumsy, but the referee sees nothing in it.
Yeah, hasn't put the whistle in his mouth this time, and again, there's a fair few people sitting in the grandstand here who are calling for it, so it's great to hear the crowd getting involved in what is a fantastic finals day we have here.
Yeah, he's gone over to the linesman to consult with him, so this could be interesting here. Oh no, he's given a goal kick after all that.
Only 3 minutes left in this first half and stoppage time, which I can only see maybe being 1 or 2 minutes. But overall, look, it's been a great half for both teams. Tamworth FC taking the lead and then holding on to a player down. But I think the Demon Knights would also be pretty proud of their efforts. They've had some close calls, come out the other side, and of course find themselves with a huge advantage for this second half.
Yeah, I think both sides will be happy for the half-time break to come. FC to recompose, get in, have a chat, also basically have a rest. They've been running around for the last 25 minutes with just the 10 men, so they'll be able to get in the sheds, settle down, reconnect with what their game plan was and change it if necessary. And DK, the same token, will also go in there to talk about basically how they can come out and win this match, put Tamworth FC under some pressure and get at them.
Lovely ball here to open up a counter-attack. Some fantastic play at the back there by Matt Gardner to shut that down.
There's a player down for DK in the centre of the pitch. Might be Jeff Donnan down in the centre of the pitch. It's hard to tell from here.
That was a real opportunity for the Demon Knights just before half-time there. He had the space and he had a couple of players sprinting through on the back side. I think he was trying to find that crossing ball to find them and give them the space to keep pushing forward. But Tamworth FC will be wary of that, and I think as this game comes on in the second half, we might see a couple more of those chances by the Demon Knights.
Yeah, you can already see in the last 10 minutes that they're starting to growing in confidence and growing into this match. Their passing's starting to get a little bit better. They still need to be a bit more clinical when they get into the final third. But I think the longer this game goes on and the longer it stays 1-0, then Demon Knights are definitely a chance at scoring an equaliser. Both sides look like they're happy winding this down to the half-time break.
Hey, what's your message if you're Greg Bartlett for the half-time? Is it just to calm down and to go back to what we've done all season?
I think the one message he's got to have is say nothing to the referee. Do not give him the option to card you, to look at you sideways, to do anything. As soon as you do that, you could be down to 9 men. And down to 9 men, I don't think, regardless of how good you are and whether you're undefeated, it will be impossible to keep a side out for the full 45 if you're down to 9 men. As you can see, it's been a very stop-start game. There's been plenty of fouls. been plenty of cards issued, so potentially there's been cards on both sides too. So potentially you could see another yellow card lead to a red card in this second half as well.
Yeah, it has definitely had its fiery moments in this game. Even the poor halfway flag got involved there at one stage. But overall, we've seen some great football in the first half. And one fantastic strike.
Yeah, the halfway flag still looks in a bit worse for wear as well. As I imagine Jackson Hauser is in the sheds at the moment as well. Late chance for Tamworth FC. And they're going to get a corner out of this. Will there be time to take it?
They're going to have time. It'll be interesting to see how many they push forward here. And they're all going to go up for it.
There's half time.
Not enough time to take it. What a fantastic half we've seen here. It's had it all. It's had a great goal. It's had a red card. It's had its fiery moments. And it's had its opportunities for both teams. This is 1-0 at the moment to Tamworth FC in the Northern Inland Premier League first grade game, which has of course been brought to you by Bar TV, and it's been a fantastic day we've seen so far, all put on by Northern Inland Football. Welcome back here at Scully Park in Tamworth for the second half of the Northern Inland Premier League first grade. Tamworth FC currently up 1-0, but it's not all smooth sailing for the guys in the blue. Of course, they were reduced to 10 men about 20 minutes into the game. Demon Knights have looked good, have had their chances, but haven't been able to break the Tamworth FC defence.
Yeah, the big talking point out of that is obviously the send-off, and word out of the sheds at half-time is he was a little bit overzealous in questioning the decision, and that's why he was shown the red card.
It has been quite a fiery first half. We've seen a couple of cards, I think 1 red card and 2-1 yellow cards, is it?
Yeah, I haven't been keeping track of the yellow, but it's something along those lines, and we could definitely see some more flashpoints in this second half.
FC have wasted no time stringing together another attacking play. Pretty poor cross in the end, though.
Once again, it comes through Burrow, though. He looks their main outlet, and I dare say he'll probably play a lone striker role, or they'll push Bartlett up to help him up front, and they'll definitely will not be playing with 3 strikers in this second half.
Burrow, of course, is the man who scored the first goal for Tamworth FC. A fantastic strike on his weaker foot, curled it past the keeper brilliantly to go 1-0 up. We've seen a couple of good chances, mainly from Tamworth FC since then, but nobody's been able to finish off.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how DK come out in this second half. They've got it all to play for. Like I said, they've never won a first grade grand final, so they've got everything to play for. They're playing against the Tamworth FC side, who is unbeaten all season, but is now down to 10 men. So what happens now? This will be their best chance that they'll get, I think. So after they've come out of the sheds, they look to be pressuring Tamworth FC a bit more. Here they are in the box trying to make something happen.
That was a good play to keep that ball in.
Now they've got 3 in the midfield and they pick up the scraps, so that should have been easy dealt with by the keeper, but the keeper stays. DK have definitely come out of this for this second half with a little bit more momentum, a little bit more urgency, and I think this is going to make for a very exciting second half.
We said in the first half we felt whoever scored next could even go on to win it from there. Of course, the confidence that the Demon Knights would get off another goal and vice versa for Tamworth FC. So it's going to be a crucial, I'd say, opening 20 minutes. And if it's still at this 1-0 scoreline, then some crucial substitutions will come into play.
Yeah, DK need to consolidate and get their foot on the ball. They need to put Tamworth FC under some pressure. Even when they went down to 10 men in that first half, they didn't seem to be under pressure still, which is obviously a big thing for Tamworth FC and shows how well they pass the ball around and how experienced they are. Here comes a 4th official into play. It'll be interesting. Something's happening here.
It was the music, I believe, coming out of the grandstand was affecting the earpiece of the 4th official.
I just thought Colin Gabb was getting his karaoke on in half-time. That's all I thought it was going on.
Lovely ball by the Demon Knights, but one thing they probably have been guilty of so far in this game is not being able to string enough passes together to put Tamworth FC under any real pressure. Either
that or sloppy passes like that are misdirected, which puts them on the back foot and causes pressure to be put on them like that. Against the FC side with 10 men, you can't afford to do that. You've got to string some passes together, run them around, make them tired, force them to make substitutions that they don't want to make, and then pinch that goal and go from there.
Tamworth FC in no rush to take this throw, and I think we'll expect to see a fair bit of this in the second half, just playing down the clock where they can.
They would have spoke about that at half-time. They'll slow everything down. Everything will be at half pace. Everything should be to feet, and everything should be smart. They would have spoke about not taking any more risks whatsoever in terms of cards. No back chat to the ref. No needless challenges. And they'll hope to go through and keep a the rest of the 10 men on the field.
With that in mind, do you think that maybe a bit of an opposite chat would have been in the Demon Knights shed at halftime? Do you think there might have been a little, maybe subtle hint to keep poking the bear?
Oh, I'd like to think not, but definitely there would be, especially at this level. It would have been, there's certain players that are probably more explosive than others, and there's players on yellow cards out there, so there'll definitely be enough niggle and probably some sly comments going either way, trying to get under the skin of FC, and I suppose it hasn't worked all year considering they haven't lost a game, so whether it happens now that they're down to 10 men, maybe, I don't know, but they definitely would have been mentioned at half time. It would have been, let's put pressure on them, let's make them lose the ball and then see if they lose their heads as well.
One thing they definitely haven't lost in all this is their go forward. As we're seeing again, they're very quick to shut down the Demon Knights attack and put it straight back onto them.
Yeah, and it's definitely a solid attribute to have. It's easy, extremely easy when you go down to 10 men to start sitting back and defending and setting your defensive line back further and further and further. It's almost a natural progression for that to happen. However, Tamworth FC seem to have coped with it without a problem. They're still passing the ball around at the back. They don't seem phased. They don't seem under pressure. And DK, if they want to win this game, they're going to have to come out and they're going to have to go at Tamworth FC.
They're probably going to have to take some risks as well.
Yeah, they will. I don't think they'll need to take him for the first 25 minutes at least. They've got that extra man, so if they pass it around, and you can see now they've only got two up front, Tamworth FC, so if they push that player forward, it looks like number 12 is pushing on, so Lachlan Williamson's pushing forward now, so they might be playing with that three at the back already, and they've got that other man advantage, so realistically, there should be no reason why they shouldn't be able to hold possession. And that was just missed by, I think Matt Gardner put it over.
Great opportunity there. He had a whole goal. Pretty much if he hit that on target, would have had a very good chance.
Yeah, whole goal to aim for. You would have expected him to bury that. All he had to do was get it on target, like you said, and it's 2-0 to Tamworth FC, and that's pretty much curtains. But he's put it over, and game on.
The Demon Knights goalkeeper Luke Birmingham would have had his heart in his mouth there because he really was caught in no man's land. He half came out to him, realised he couldn't make it out there. A very lucky moment, and hopefully the Demon Knights can build off the back of that and make the most of it and go and put some pressure back on Tamworth FC.
He'll be definitely glad that he wasn't punished for that. He knows that he made a mistake, and it'll probably keep him back on his line a bit deeper, I'd say, after that mistake.
Well dealt with by Jeff Donovan there. Struggling to say it, but he's been brilliant for the Demon Knights in the first half, and I think he might be key for their go forward here. As we see, they're starting to put together another attacking set. And again, it's been the story of the Demon Knights all day, just that last pass, it hasn't gone to feed. It's been quite poor and easily intercepted, leading to a good break here by Tamworth FC, which is still going.
Hayden Davidson's cut it back into the top of the box, but it's easily cut out by the DK defence. You're going to have to regroup here and reset. Tamworth FC will get their structure back and they'll start playing some smart football.
Both teams actually look relatively gassed out there. Might be a bit interesting considering that we've only had about 55 minutes of play, 50 minutes of play, but they're both looking pretty knackered. So I wonder when the first substitutions by both coaches will be made.
One would think Tamworth FC would make the first move given they're down to 10 men. However, if there's attackers on the bench for DK and the longer it stays at 1-0, I can see them making some structural changes and some personnel changes to put some more attacking-minded players on the field.
Lovely passage of play here by DK, and again, that last pass just hasn't been good enough.
I'm starting to think that you're the jinx.
I hope that's not the case, but every time they just start to look good, they that last ball isn't there, and a lot of the time it's actually opening up for FC to put in some type of counter-attack. As we see Josh Bartlett put pressure on. They're well dealt with in the end by DK, and they're going to regroup and hopefully start pushing forward again. Bartlett's kind of more than happy there just to hold up the ball and look for players to come forward. Push it all the way back to their backs, and they're going to start again.
Yeah, they've changed their formation to a 4-4-2, Tamworth FC, 4-3-2. So all they've done is drop their striker that was playing in their first half from their 4-3-3. They'll look to maintain possession from the backs into the midfield and play exactly the same, however, with not as much width up front.
One thing that Tamworth FC has done very well is shut down any space which North Companions have had, and that's an incredible feat considering they're a man down. But at that stage is even now, we're seeing that it looks like FC have more time and space on the ball than the North Companions, which just shows the type of attitude they've got. They
do look like North Companions, but you mean DKFC?
I do mean DK, of course.
I can see easy mistake to make, especially after last game when DK had the opposite strip and had to wear their away strip.
Cheers, mate.
Here goes Naren Singh. Great ball through. He's got a touch. Needs that cut back. And he's done that, but needed to get it in the air and put it to the back post. Still a good chance by DK. It's one of their first opportunity they've probably created in this second half, and they'll get positives out of that.
That was a fantastic play. I think there'll be two midfielders there kicking themselves. That was cut back. Nobody was on the end of it. And they were kind of just in between, or in that middle third, just watching really. And when you're 1-0 down in a final, you need to be running forward and pushing on.
Yeah, right. Exactly right. Score against Tamworth FC, you've got to be clinical. There was nothing clinical about that. They got through them all right, but the final ball, they needed to put it back post.
And we've just seen our first substitution. Mitchell Guiney, I'm hoping is how you pronounce it, there has come on.
Yeah, Mitchell Gwynn's come on.
Gwynn, nowhere near.
Yeah, Mitchell Gwynn's come on, so he'll probably, he's replaced Kyle Winter at the back, so that might be due to an injury, I believe. Would make no sense substituting someone when you need a goal in the back. So I'm guessing that Kyle's succumbed to some sort of injury, and we'll sit the remainder of this fixture on the bench.
Another good ball put through for the Demon Knights here. Has done well to earn himself a throw-in, but again we're seeing the North Companions are just jogging forward here. They just don't look like they're playing with that. The Demon Knights, sorry, but they just don't seem like they're playing with that real push and urgency to draw level in this game.
No, I thought they'd come out a lot stronger from half-time. I thought they'd come out re-enthused. I thought Evan Quaife would have had them fired up to get under the skin of Tamworth FC and shut them down quickly. However, that hasn't happened. They've had a decent chance. However, they need to be more clinical. Here's a corner for them, so they might be able to do something here, but they need to get it into the box and cause FC some dramas. That needs to be cut back to the top, and it's not. It's just wasted.
A chance gone begging there for the Demon Knights. I finally got it
You've done well.
But they had players in the box then, they had space. All he needed to do is, as he said, just get that back in, get it in a heading opportunity. And didn't even take the time to control the ball properly, hit it on the half volley, and as a result, it's gone nowhere near where it needed to be. It's a good passage of play here by the Demon Knights.
And a card here for Naren Singh. The crowd are appreciative of that.
The Tamworth FC have been waiting for a while for something like that to happen. They look like they just got tangled to be fair, but it's a shame because it was a good passage of play being put together, a couple of strong passes for the Demon Knights and starting to show the advantage of having one extra man. But he just got the ball tangled up in his feet. A little bit of frustration prevailed at the end of it, I think.
It's an easy one for Birmingham to come out and claim. Here they go. DK have gone up the sideline now. And they've played it forward, but I know they've retained possession. So, I know, overruled by the referee.
The game has kind of fallen out of rhythm, I should say, in the last couple of minutes. Neither team has really strung together a good passage of play or a couple of minutes and built any type of pressure. And I think whichever team does that next.
Yeah, you're right. I think that probably plays into FC's hands. I think the less structured it is and the more they can frustrate DK by leading still with 10 men, I think it'll play into their hands. Here's a clever little ball. They're just maintaining possession out the side, playing it off them for a cheeky little throw.
I think the other thing what Tamworth FC are doing well is when they do have the ball going forward, they keep almost stopping the Demon Knights from being able to push men forward themselves, because every time they turn over the ball, before they know it, they're having to jog back and to defend some type of great play.
Yeah, you're right, and you can see some clear time-wasting tactics here already from Tamworth FC, going down with cramp. That's sure to get Evan Quaife motivated off his bench.
I wonder how much more of that will sneak into the game for this last half an hour.
I'm sure there was nothing in that. That was from the birthday boy, so... he obviously is cramping, and I dare say Greg Bartlett will look probably to get him off if that continues to cramp at the moment. Here's a chance for Naran Singh, so he needs some more people in the box to give him a hand, though.
He can't beat the FC defender. He happily puts it out for a throw, and a great piece of defending there.
Yeah, Matt Gardner done well. He held him up, didn't commit, and just let it play it off him.
They've got numbers forward here. They just need to get it into the box. And they have done so, but not efficiently in the slightest.
Quick feet there. Once again, Singh can't get around Gardner. He's doing well at the right left back role.
He's got Singh in his back pocket at the moment. Possession straight back to the Demon Knights zone. I think they won't waste too much time getting it back into the FC half, which they've done. Big call from the crowd for a foul there, but what it has done, another one.
Once again, a pause in play, and there's going to be a card issued here. Oh, there's a red card for DKFC, second yellow card. Just wait for him to turn around. I'm not sure on the player as yet.
It's exactly what the Demon Knights didn't need. The only advantage they have had on Tamworth FC in this game so far has been the extra man, and he's just taken that away from them.
Correct. Now it's a massive uphill battle for DK.
Tamworth FC will take some great confidence out of that. They've been one man down for a long time and have probably still, in all fairness, looked the better team. So now it's come back onto an even playing field. I'm sure they'll be very confident that they can see out this last 26 minutes and maybe even advance their lead.
Yeah, I actually expect them, now that they're on level playing field with 10-10, I expect them to probably push forward and try and score. and basically finish them off now rather than waiting. So this will be interesting.
Looks like we could have had a head clash there. Could have been a good opportunity for an FC goal. Kicked over the the Demon Knights' backs. A little head flick could have just put Luke Birmingham off there, but just couldn't target it correctly. Both of the players are still down. Yeah, we've seen Greg Bartlett, the coach of Tamworth FC at the moment, is talking to a couple of his players on the sideline, and he's definitely pointing in the direction of the Demon Knights goal, so you could be spot on there.
I dare say after this stoppage there'll be some serious thought given to substitutions, and you might see an influx of them now. DK will have to put some more attacking-minded players on if they want to try and overcome this 1-0 deficit, especially now that they're down to 10 men, the same as Tamworth FC. Tamworth FC might look to consolidate it, put some fresh legs on there, considering they've been down to 10 men for that little bit extra, probably an extra 25-30 minutes. Then DK, so those guys will need some fresh legs at some stage, I'd imagine, and just who they put on will be interesting as well.
You can see that the urgency in Tamworth FC has really picked up since drawing back equal in terms of men. I think they can almost smell blood here, and yeah, I think the Demon Knights will have to look to their bench sooner rather than later just to add some type of spark into this game.
Yeah, and it all comes down to what they've got on their bench. Like you said, they played in reserve grade, a lot of these players that they've got on their bench as well, or some of them, so I don't think they kept too many fresh. So whether they've got the fresh legs there to inject them at the right time, I'm not sure either.
Lovely cross there, and he's just put it wide of the far post.
Josh Bartlett should have done a lot better there. All he needed to do was hit the target, and it was a certain goal.
It was a fantastic cross again. Some of the crosses that have been put into the box by Tamworth FC have been spot on, and that was a great opportunity to go 2-0 up. As he said, he will be quite disappointed with himself. That attack comes to an end and results in a free kick. A bit of a hit and hope long ball though, and I think if the Demon Knights are to draw level, they just need to get ball to feet and to build some pressure on this Tamworth FC team, which seem to be growing in confidence by the minute now.
Yeah, that was a pretty soft foul there, I thought, given away. Hamish McGilly did get his body in front, I thought, but I thought it was just 50-50. DK are going to need some decisions to probably go their way if they're going to get back into this game as well, I think.
That clearance kick couldn't have fallen any better than Josh Bartlett, who's on a runaway now. Shoots early and scores a wonderful goal, chipping Luke Birmingham to make it 2-0, and look at him go.
Fantastic finish by Josh Bartlett. He's chipped Luke Birmingham from 30 metres out. Very composed, calm finish, and I think that will be very close to game unless DK can get one back very quickly.
That's huge, and the way they responded after that red card was given to the Demon Knights, you could tell that they felt as if it was only a matter of time until they scored a goal. I think the Demon Knights might also have to be careful here that they don't open up the floodgates, because this Tamworth FC team won't go away. They've got their tails up and they're 20 minutes away from an undefeated season.
Yeah, when we spoke off air, we mentioned about the undefeated season. They've spoke about it once this year, according to Bartlett. However, they didn't want to get ahead of themselves, and I guess that's probably showing now. It's not an easy thing to do, to go through the season undefeated. It hasn't happened very many times. There might have been maybe one or two teams in the history of the Premier League to do so. So it's definitely no mean feat, and they'll be more than ecstatic if they can achieve that. Once again, Bartlett down, time wasting, cramp.
Their coach, Greg Bartlett, now can you see him looking to the bench for a couple of defenders here?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going to happen now. I think there's going to be some slow changes, so there might be, especially with cramp coming in for a few players now, there might be a few changes made. You can see Bartlett on the sideline. I think you'll find that he will be subbed. He's now getting some treatment on the sideline, so something we'll have to give shortly.
Hey, even though you like streaming like 10 minutes behind, I'm sitting there watching it. Feels like 10 minutes. Gus is like, I give 5 minutes.
Luke Birmingham's come off his line for a clearance there, and he's only found it as far as Josh Bartlett.
There's another ball on the pitch. I'm not sure which ball we're using at the moment, or one's been belted away. So they both look fairly similar though, so that's interesting.
Chris, the crowd has come alive since that second goal. You could almost say they've come alive since that second red card. Do you think they're going to get Tamworth FC home now? It looks like the boys are almost just starting to enjoy it a little bit more out there as well.
Yeah, you're right. The cards have been celebrated as much as the goals at the moment, which is a little bit disappointing. But at the end of the day, I think Tamworth FC deserve their lead. They've played well, they've played smart, and DK just haven't been able to match them, both physically, mentally, and probably skillfully. So where we go from here is DK have to push. They've got no choice. And if they don't, then it'll be a 2-0 victory to FC.
I think Josh Bartlett is going to have to come off soon. Since attempting to come back on, he's been carrying a limp and he just hasn't hit 100% yet.
I keep telling him he's been carrying a limp all year. However, he doesn't listen to me. So I think you're right, though. I think he will succumb to it. Mind you, they're warming young, I think it's Bailey Campbell up on the sideline. So he's a bloke that's played reserve grade for them and filled in first grade for them this year. Very quick young striker with a lot of ability. So look for him probably to come on and run this DK defence around and probably tire them out for the last 18 minutes.
Lovely play there by the Demon Knights. Well kept alive. Couldn't find somebody crossing back, but have earned themselves a corner. And there you go. The scoreboard has finally been updated for the second goal there, Chris.
Someone's on the ball. That's good to see.
Demon Knights failed to get the ball in. They had pretty much the whole team in there. But again, couldn't get it into an attacking position for somebody to pounce on.
FC are now starting to sit a bit deeper. They look a little bit tighter, which is understandable considering they were down to 10 men early in that first half. So this is where the substitutions will be crucial, I think. You can see Bailey Campbell warming up now. I'd expect for him to come on for Josh Bartlett. And then I would imagine they'll probably make a couple more changes just to strengthen their defence up.
Another opportunity here for the Demon Knights. Puts a lovely ball through. He's going to get there first.
He's been called offside.
No. Will be called back for an offside. I think one of the worries for the Demon Knights coach, Evan Quaife, is they have looked like they've just slowed down a bit. A lot of his players after that second goal was netted. A couple of heads, I think, have dropped a bit, and they need to quickly shake that off and really work hard for this next 16 to try and get a goal.
Yeah, you're right, and they're about to make substitutions now. So I'd imagine these substitutions aren't like for like. I'd imagine they're going to pull off a defensive player for a more attacking-minded player to try and push Tamworth FC. They've got nothing to lose now. They're down 2-0. They've never won a first-grade Northern Inland football premiership, so it's do or die now.
Bartlett's done very well to win a throw in there. And it just gives them another opportunity to run the clock back. Here is the first of the substitutions. Believe it or not, it's Conor McGregor that is making way. We don't have the name of the fella who's just gone on to replace him, but he's ran straight up, and I think we are.
Yeah, I find that an interesting move. Conor McGregor is one of the more attacking players that DK have. Probably not the most, but one of the more attacking players or options. So maybe he's run out of puff, run out of legs, and just needs to come off. So maybe it is a like for like, maybe. And just some fresh legs on the paddock.
Lovely piece of control to bring the ball down there. He's just ran into too many Tamworth FC players. Couldn't distribute fast enough. Tamworth FC are doing very well just to keep the ball out of their half at the moment. They're not really allowing the Demon Knights too much time on the ball in good attacking positions.
No, you're right. And Demon Knights, if they want to win this game, they need to press. They need to go early. They need to go now. They need to go hard. Tamworth FC just look composed. They look settled on the ball, and they look like they've got it in the bag at the moment.
Second goal scorer, Josh Bartlett, is coming off. A fantastic game for him, scoring that second goal, and he's come off to a great reception from the crowd. Replacing him is Bailey Campbell.
Yeah, Bailey actually travels from Narrabri to come and play with Tamworth FC, which is a bit of a feat in itself. There's a lot of players in this competition that do travel from afar. Some even travelled from Brisbane this year for some other clubs. Some travel from Narrabri, some travel... I think there's even some Moree players. And it's a true credit to the competition, really, to show the strength of it and that people want to play in this competition. As we said, we've got two here for Tamworth FC that play for Inverell. There's another strong challenge there from Harefield.
A lovely flick on to set that up by the Demon Knights. And they've got another opportunity here, a set piece. But again, if you look at the players, they're just wandering into the box at the moment. They're not pushing everyone up, which is just a bit baffling, if anything.
Safety first there from Mick Gay. Just decided to punch that over the top rather than try and grab it. Safety first approach, and I guess that's how you could describe a lot of this second half from FC. They went down to, when DK went down to 10 men, they decided to press a little bit higher. Got that extra goal advantage, and now 2-0, and now it's safety first.
Well crossed in there, but couldn't find a head, and easily dealt with by Tamworth FC, who were clearing it. And yeah, look, it looks like FC are going to be more than happy just to sit back for this remaining 10 minutes. They have been fantastic at the back, to be fair, though.
No, they've been very solid at the back, and I think that's where it's been won for them. There's been a couple of good strikes, obviously, but I think that their back line has held solid and created very little chances for DKFC, and it looks like they're well on their way for their third premiership.
Good play there by Bailey Campbell to win a corner for his team. been a good move by Bartlett to put some fresh legs on in the striker position, because again he's kept them asking questions, and each time the Demon Knights look to go forward, I'm sure they have in the back of their mind that these quick Tamworth FC team is quickly to pounce on the counter attack.
Yeah, at some stages I wasn't sure whether it was Greg or Josh Bartlett out there actually, but clearly putting Bailey Campbell on is going to give them another outlet up front. There's a penalty awarded to Tamworth FC.
He just weaved his way through two players there, and coming out of the second one, he's just being clipped. It was
Harefield had quick feet, top of the box, held it up, skinned two, and felt contact, went down. Simple. Penalty. Not quite sure who steps up to take this. Looks like Burrow's going to step up to take it. Birmingham is a renowned dotty saver, so this could be interesting too.
So you're tipping him to save it?
Put your house on it. There goes my house.
Well, a very powerful penalty there by Kurt Burrow, straight into the corner, into the side netting, I would say, and he's had a fantastic game. Of course, was the first one to get on the scoreboard with a fantastic curler in the first half, and has probably topped off a fantastic game for Tamworth FC here, putting the game well out of reach now, 3-0, and they're not too far off that unbeaten season, which they may not have talked about too much this year, but many definitely have, and it's an incredible feat.
Yeah, I think clinical finish, and obviously that's probably his season as a whole. He finished second on the Golden Boot. That's probably Tamworth FC, how they've been all year, actually. They've been very clinical, and that's what that finish had. It had everything. He just stepped up to the mark and just slotted it. No thought, just result. Long way back now for DKFC. If they want anything out of this game, everyone must go forward now. But 3-0 is looking like a very, very steep uphill battle.
We spoke early on in the game just how good the Tamworth FC backline has been all season, only conceding 14 goals, which is pretty much a goal every second game. And they've shown it again here today, so I can't see, and I'm sure the DK will be scratching their heads a little bit, wondering how they are going to break their defence open.
Yeah, I guess they've only conceded 14, as we said, but they've scored 53 as well. So even if you do score against this side, you've still got to keep them out at your end as well. So it's all well and good to push out all attack and score against them, even if it was level playing field and was 0-0 still. But considering they've scored 53 for the season, just shows how potent they are also in attack.
Yeah, it is a very well-rounded team, and we've seen it here again today. And they showed a lot of character going down to 10 men to almost control the game at times. Made the Demon Knights really work for all the space on the park, even though they were man down. So they've been very hungry from the start, and it's just looking like they're starting to enjoy it a bit more. And I don't even think the scoring will be over just yet. I could easily see Tamworth FC slotting one more in this last 10 minutes.
Yeah, the game's not over. They'll want to finish on a high and put a score on now. 7 minutes to go, and they've got this game in the bag. So I can imagine them going for glory and trying to slot a few more home. I think DK are probably just playing for pride now with 6 minutes or a bit over, 6 minutes plus stoppage time left. So they'll want to get on a score sheet as well. They won't want to be done to nil in a grand final, and they'll want to show FC that they've at least got some fight. So don't expect them to just give up too easily here. But at the same time, the more they push forward, the more vulnerable they'll look in defence. We've got more people up front stretching for Tamworth FC as well, so they might be about to make some more changes here as well, I think.
Well intercepted by Tamworth FC then, but just nobody really to get the ball to. Bailey Campbell was on a different wavelength. He's given DC the ball back, DK I should say. They've just, all game, they've lacked that final touch, haven't they? Again, we're seeing it there. They get the ball into some great places. They have plays in the box, but they just can't provide that quality ball to unlock them.
Yeah, they're just missing a bit of polish. So last week they had all polish. I watched their game against East Armidale and everything was smooth, and basically they finished all the chances that they had. Extremely clinical and had plenty of polish. Today it's been a completely different story. They've had few and far between chances, however haven't even looked like finishing those chances off. Had they pressed a bit harder when they were down to, when Tamworth FC were down to 10 men, they might have been reaping the rewards now. But instead, Tamworth FC played pretty smart, and they're up 3-0 and level playing field with terms on the number on the field, 10 each.
Play by the Demon Knights. He's got the ball into the box. He's found some open space. Shots away. Good save to Gay down low. Ball's still in the box. Calls for a penalty, and it has been blown.
Good first attempt by Singh. Saved by Mick Gay. Then parried back. SC are complaining, but they're probably best to walk away at the moment, considering what's happened in this game. They don't want to send off. They could probably start thinking about next year, in all honesty. They've gone over to the linesman to consult him. However, the penalty's already been awarded, so this could be interesting.
It was great play by the Demon Knights down the left edge, beat two defenders and held his nerve in the box, looked up, found some feet, and a good shot was off. Probably should have buried it first opportunity, but backing up, and they've got themselves a penalty.
Penalty stands. Once again, while we're waiting for this to be taken, we'd obviously like to thank Bar TV for coming on board, West Entertainment Group for this magnificent venue, and also Northern Inland Football for making this happen.
Jeff Donnan's the man to take the dot shot. He's probably been their best all day, so would definitely deserve a goal.
A few mind games now. Mick Gay coming out to look at the ball.
Just to check the colour.
I think you're spot on there. And maybe after it goes in, maybe it will be made to be retaken. I'm not sure.
Slowing down a little bit more. There's also going to be a change for Tamworth FC. Sam Williams-Glass is the man to come on.
It looks like Hamish McGilly's coming off. It's Chris Hughes actually coming off for Tamworth FC.
Demon Knights have also made a change. One of their players who played in reserve grade has come on to finish off the game. Coming off is Reese Habichi.
Slotted by Donnan. 3-1. 2 minutes to go.
Well deserved by Don, and as we said, he's just been in everything, and every time the Demon Knights have looked threatening, he's had some part to play in that attack.
Yeah, he's definitely been solid today. He started that first half, he was in and out of the game, I thought. His touch has definitely got better in the second half, and anything good's actually come through him. You can see the zonal defence of Tamworth FC working wonders there. They've got 4 across the back line. You've got Ross Price in sweeping behind. Even though he's limping a bit, they look well in control of this last couple of minutes of this game.
They do. They're just kind of waiting for that referee to blow the whistle now. You can see there's no urgency of them pushing up. A lot of the midfield's just walking.
I think DK can probably hold their heads up higher too. They're probably a bit more disappointed that they didn't attack them a bit more when Tamworth FC were down to 10 men, but losing 3-1 in a grand final to a side that hasn't been defeated all year is no disgrace there.
No, look, and it is a game that's had absolutely everything we've seen. We've had goals, we've had cards, we've had red cards, send-offs, a couple of penalties even. It's been fantastic, and it's backing off, which was a really entertaining reserve grade final that went the way of North Companions in the end, and it's been a fantastic day, which is going to continue on here on Bar TV for some local grade fixtures as well.
There's definitely been no shortage of talking points or excitement, as you call it. I guess it's been a wonderful, well-fought fixture. Most of it obviously in good spirit. A few lowlights with the send-offs, but that happens when pressure comes into big game situations sometimes as well.
We've also seen a fantastic crowd here to cheer on not only Tamworth FC, but there's been a fair bit of black and white in the crowd that has made the trip down from Armidale, so it's fantastic to see, and it has been a great achievement by the Demon Knights to have both of their sides in the finals here today in the Premier League, both reserve grade and first grade.
Yeah, and they'll be happy with that. As Evan said during the week, he said he was happy with the fact that they just made it this far and to have 2 sides in there. And I mentioned that they hadn't had that for 35 years, so that's a feat in itself. In saying that, they will definitely be a little bit disappointed to be walking away without 1 trophy from both these games. But they've had their chances, and I guess it's been Tamworth FC's day, and it's probably been Tamworth FC's year. So, like I said before, there's no disgrace in losing to this side 3-1.
Yeah, what a side they've been. We've spoken about it. The conceding only 14 goals a whole season, over 50 goals are scored for them. And to go through, not only undefeated, but undefeated can sometimes mean you've drawn a lot of games along the way, but they only had 1 draw, so it's been a very dominant display from the first whistle of the season to the last one, which isn't too far away from being blown.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. There has been some teams in the past, as we mentioned before, that have gone through undefeated, that have had draws, I suppose, as well, but it's rare that this does happen, and I'm sure they'll celebrate tonight and tomorrow, and maybe even into Monday, the fact that they've created this achievement. And I guess it's a credit to their coaching staff, the way they've trained, the effort they've all put in, because this doesn't happen by accident.
Look, a huge testament to the club as well, because their female side, of course, will be in action on Scully Park tomorrow in the first grade for the girls. They've also gone through undefeated, so not just for the men but for the women, that's an incredible achievement by the club, and I'm sure they're going to celebrate hard tonight, and they should, because it's been, as we've said, a fantastic season.
Yeah, Tamworth FC have always been strong in their women's sides. They've always been in the finals or there and thereabouts, but for them to go through undefeated this year, I guess is a credit to the club for both their women's side and their Premier League first grade side to both go through undefeated. So they'll be hoping they can replicate this performance from their first grade counterparts tomorrow, and they'll probably be celebrating like these guys will tonight.
Another check of the watch by our referee. I think he's had a great game as well. He's had a tough game at times, but he has been quite consistent. Yeah, he's in the end, it's kind of worked out pretty evenly.
Yeah, I guess it depends on what side of the coin you're on with that. The referees, obviously, they don't want to be noticed in the centre, and he's been noticed a few times for some calls. But at the end of the day, if you've got to pull something up, you've got to pull something up, and he's he's done it harshly, but he's done it sternly, and he's obviously done it to the rules. So there's fourth officials here and there's linesmen that have obviously backed his decisions up, and I'm sure Tamworth FC will have no dramas with the decision making now, especially after this scoreline. So at the end of the day, the officials love officiating on these big days just as much as the players love playing. And it looks like Jackson's about to blow the final whistle now.
There it is. What a fantastic game we've seen here. Tamworth FC have taken out the Northern Inland Premier League with a 3-1 win over the Demon Knights. A great game of football here. 2 goals to Kurt Burrow for Tamworth FC, as well as 1 to Josh Bartlett. And for the Demon Knights, it was 1 goal to Jeff Donnan from the spot. A fantastic season, undefeated for Tamworth FC. They've been the benchmark all year, and they proved again today why they are the best in the business.
Thanks for your time, Jack. Much appreciated. Great job, mate.
Chris, thank you so much. And again, a huge thank you to Bar TV for making this possible. Northern Inland Football for putting on a great day, which will continue here on Bar TV with our next fixture, which is the men's reserve grade final between the OVA and North Companions, kicking off at 5:30 p.m.
Should also be a cracker. Stay tuned in.
We have the kick-off between OBA and North Companions, Tamworth local reserve grade. And the first grade local game will kick off at 7:45. presentation today will be conducted by Mr. David Ewan, CEO of Northern New South Wales Football, and the Chairman of Northern New South Wales Football, Bill Walker. I'd like to congratulate both teams, and I'd like to call forward the Demon Knights. We'll go name by name, so we'll call forward this year's runners-up. We'll call Luke Birmingham. Cameron Cropper. Dan Constant. Kyle Winter. Jeff Thunen. James Thomas. Thompson. Lachlan Williamson. Conor McGregor. Reece Burton. Ram Singh. Reece Hudgy. Mitchell Green. David Palmer. Cal Ross. And Jack Campbell. So to call forward Miss Devon Place for a few quick words.
What am I saying? I think firstly it's congratulations to Tamworth FC. I don't like the reverb here, so I'll do my best. Yeah, Phil, finished undefeated. Really big with the grab as well, so congratulations to you all. You proved you were the best team in the club all year, so congratulations to you all. And secondly, thanks to my guys. Played really well today. You know, we gave our all. Was good enough on the day. Yeah, it was a bit of a disappointment there. That's right. We had a good run last 2 weeks, and we'll start up again next year. Thanks to all our supporters that travelled long distances to come today. Bit disappointing we didn't win either of the games, but at least we made the grand final more so than a lot of other clubs. So, and the officials, tough job to do today. To be an official, fellas, I couldn't do it. So congratulations to all. That's all I'm going to say. Thanks. As always, we very much value our match officials, and today no different. I'd like to call forward our centre referee, Mr. Jackson Loretti. Jackson today was supported by Ryan Hendricks,
jersey number. Our first single for today was Victoria. And we're Tamworth FC were our minor premiers as well this year, so we'd like to call for the players and receive their minor premiers mug and their premiers medal. So Mick Gay. Robert Jeffrey. Hayden Davidson. Ross Price. Sam Williams-Love. Jackson Houser. Chris Hughes. Ryan Davidson. Josh Bartlett. Troy Mayfield. Hamish McGilly. Brent May. Kurt Barr. Matt Gardner. Bailey Campbell. Brady Williams-Clark. And the coach, Mr. Greg Barber.
I'd just like to thank DK. Sorry, fellas, I know you've had suffered 2 losses today, but the games we've played all year have been tough games, and we like playing you. So commiserations, fellas. Thanks for coming down the hill. I'd like to thank the West Entertainment Group for this beautiful facility we've got to play on here. These blokes, I've spent a fair bit of time with them since the middle of January. They've worked hard, they've played hard, and I'd just like to congratulate them on an undefeated season, minor major premiers, been outstanding. Thanks very much for the year, boys, and I'd just like to thank the crowd for coming, and especially Nick for the day they put on today. Congratulations to Phil and Julia. Thank you.
Now I'd like to present 99 football birthday trophy to Tamworth FC. Now put your hands together one more time for Tamworth FC.
reckon